Welcome back, traveler. My name is Aytaç and this is SITU, Silence in the Universe. Together we listen to the silence and search for the stories it hides. Previously, we wandered through the fields of central India with Sadhana, who showed us how fragile life can be, even when everything seems just right. We reflected on the great filter, the idea that life and civilizations might face hidden barriers that most never survive. Today, we return to Anatolia, to a shepherd named Evren, and to a lesson not drawn from the soil, but from the stars and fire. Because even before civilizations rise and fall, the conditions for their very emergence may be far more rare than we imagined. The air was sharp with the chill of pre-dawn. Evren sat beside the low-burning fire, wrapped in a heavy wool cloak patched from years of wear. Faint burn marks dotted its hem, scars from sticking too close or feeding wet wood that spat embers in protest. His sheep lay nearby, breathing softly. Dogs curled tight for warmth. His donkey shifted, half asleep, its breath visible in the cold air. Evren watched the flames flicker. Sparks rose like brief stars, swallowed by the night. The wood crackled, sometimes loud, sometimes in whispers. Fire was never truly silent, never truly still. Neither were the stars above. Though they seemed fixed and eternal to human eyes, Evren heard stories from travelers about dying stars, about violent explosions that could outshine entire galaxies. The heavens, like his fire, were in constant motion, some changes visible, others hidden. He had learned how to sit at the right distance from the flames, close enough to feel warmth, far enough to avoid the burn. Balance was everything. Too near and his skin would blister. Too far and the cold would seep into his bones. His grandfather had once told him, "The fire teaches us where to stand in life." At the time, Evren thought it was about caution. Now, under the vast canopy of stars, he wondered if it meant something more. His gaze drifted upwards to the sky. He knew none of the silence, but he knew the silence. And he knew balance, the distance between too much and too little. The Milky Way is not a friendly place. Between chaos is chaotic and stillness. Stars packed tightly together like sheep in a storm. Flares and radiation surging constantly across thousands of light years. Black holes lurking in the shadows, devouring anything that ventures too close. Near the galactic center, planets face a bombardment of energy that would sterilize any emerging life. Worlds near the core might experience cosmic events every few million years, which would reset the biological clock, wiping the slate clean before complexity has time to evolve. Out at the rim, it's too quiet. Few stars, fewer heavy elements. Not enough raw material for complex life. The outer reaches lack the rich metals forged in the stellar furnace. The carbon, oxygen, iron, and countless others that build planets and eventually bodies. Out there, worlds might form, but they would be barren. Ghost planets circling distant fires, forever empty. But in between there is a narrow spiral band, the galactic habitable zone. Not too violent, not too poor. A safe lane, trading between chaos and emptiness. Earth lies within that lane. Just like Evren around his fire, life needs the right distance. Not too close, not too far. Too much heat and its destruction. Too little, nothing ever stirs. An astronomer might measure this distance in thousands of light years, but the principle is the same as the careful distance Evren maintains from his campfire. The universe offers few places where the balance is just right, where the energy flows neither too fierce nor too feeble for life to take hold and grow. But even in the safe zones, not every star is hard. Some flare constantly, bathing their planets in deadly radiation. Red dwarfs, the most common stars in our galaxy, often unleashes solar storms that would strip away atmosphere and scorch surfaces. Any life emerging around such stars would face constant apocalypse. Some die young, burning bright and hot, like blue giants, exhausting their fuel in mere millions of years, a barely cosmic moment. Life on Earth took billions of years to evolve from single cells to contemplative minds. Around short-lived stars, evolution would always run out of time. Some are tangled with others, binary systems that tear planets apart or cast them into frozen exile. Binary and trinary star systems make up more than half the stars in our galaxy, their complex gravitational dances often making stable planetary orbits impossible. Our Sun is rare. A stable G-type yellow dwarf, quiet, steady, old but not dying, active but not violent. It gave Earth billions of years to grow oceans, forests, cities. Questions. This is the rare Sun hypothesis, that stars like ours, capable of sustaining life for eons, are uncommon. And rarer still are stars like ours, in the right part of the galaxy, with planets like Earth. Perhaps only 5% of all stars are solitary, stable, long-lived like our Sun. Of those, only a fraction will have rocky planets in their habitable zones. And of those, only some will have right mix of water, land, protective features like magnetic fields and gas giants guardians. Massive planets like Jupiter that shield inner worlds from cometary bombardment. Maybe that's why the universe is so quiet, because most fires never burn just right. Evren rose, putting his cloak tighter as dawns approached. The first hints of light touched the eastern horizon, but the stars above still held their clarity. He stroked the fire one last time, watching how the flames changed, growing, shrinking, shifting with each breath of wind. Just as stars evolved, just as galaxies turned, he looked to the fading stars. The fire behind him crackled once more, and he thought, what if the silence is not a mystery, but a pattern? What if most places in the galaxy are simply uninhabitable by design? Too hot, too cold, too unstable, too brief. Perhaps life is not struggling against cosmic odds. Perhaps the dice are loaded from the start. Maybe it's not that life is rare. Maybe it's that life almost never gets the chance. Looking at this flock steering with the coming dawn, Evren wondered about other shepherds on distant worlds, tending different creatures under alien skies. Were they too sitting by their fires wondering about him? Or was Earth truly a rare ember in a vast, cold universe? We have now seen two possible explanations for silence in the universe. First, the great filters, challenges that life must survive after it begins. Second, rare conditions, where life may never begin at all. But what if there is another kind of filter? What if civilizations fell not to disaster or scarcity, but to comfort? In our next episode, we explore a new idea, the Hay effect, a quiet, internal extinction, where the fire burns steady but no one steers. This is Aytaç, this is SITU, and together we explore the silence in the universe.